So in this video I want to explain the importation process for doing Braille that's already been created in another software, and it is then exported out of that software and imported into Gravostyle for processing. So in this video I would just want to go over that feature and how we can convert the Braille to actual Braille dots that are drilled with the Gravostyle software. So I've got a job set up based on our IS8000 rotary engraving table, 24 by 48, which you see the default dimensions here. I'm going to go ahead and zero out the margins because we don't really need any margins in this case. So I'll check this, and it draws out my material dimension to 24 by 48. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and import the file that we have. It is an actual EPS file. So I'm going to switch from text mode to selection mode here, which is the arrow icon, and I'll go up here to import, and I'll select my AI file, AI or EPS file, and we can go ahead and import that in. Now the EPS importation screen pops up, and basically it's asking, do we want to combine and auto connect any line segments to make the line smoother and with less control points, and do we want to position it on the origin. So both of those are checked, so I'm going to go ahead and leave those as the defaults and hit the green check key. So it imports the job in. Now obviously the orientation is 90 degrees off here, which we can fix that really quickly. The first thing I want to do is down here at the bottom you'll see a red lock turns red, and basically it's telling you that you've got something way outside your engraving area, which in this case we do. So we have to unlock the artwork first so that we can change it and make it fit within our engraving area. So I'm going to click on that lock to unlock it, and now we should be able to manipulate the artwork and fix it. So if I position my mouse down here on the bottom, you'll see I get a little horseshoe cursor there. So I can begin to rotate, and if I hold the control key, it pops those into 15-degree increments, and I can easily rotate that and get it nice and straight. Right now this is all one piece, and you see I've positioned it kind of in the upper left corner here, which would coincide with the origin of the engraving table on the IS8000. We can leave a little bit of margin in here for cutting, so we're not, our spindle and nose cone is not right against the stops, so we've got a little bit of a gap there. But this is all one piece right now, and to work with it individually I need to ungroup it. So what I'm going to do is go up here to the ungroup curves feature, and I'll go ahead and click that, and it looks like we've got some extra stuff out here, so I'm going to get rid of that. And the first thing we need to do is let's see if we can group all the outer parts or the outer contours of each sign together. So I'm just going to select those just by hitting the control key and doing a multi-select here, and we can grab all of those and group these together so that we can assign these a different tool color. Not necessarily that we're going to engrave in color, just so that we can differentiate those from the rest of the contours in the file. So I've got all of those selected, so I'm going to go ahead and group those together. Okay, so now any one of those I click on, it selects all of them, and I can click on the color icon here, the machining tool colors, and I'm going to go ahead and assign those to, let's say, tool number 9. So I double click on tool number 9, and you'll see they take on the gray color of that tool. So those are now assigned to that color. Now what I need to do is I need to kind of do the same thing with the Braille. And let me zoom out a little bit here. And I'm going to grab each one of the Braille pieces here. And again, you hold the control key to multiple select. And we'll try not to get anything else in the selection here, just the Braille. And after I grab all this, I can zoom in to make sure that's all we have. Alright, so I think we're good. Looks like we've got all the Braille selected. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group those together as well. Alright, and I'm going to double click. We'll assign those to tool 8, which is the burgundy. That's kind of the default tool in Gravostyle that's assigned to Braille anyway, so I'll just pick that one. When the Braille is generated in Gravostyle, that's the tool color that it's normally set to. So if I double click on that, now that assigns that color to the Braille. Now, as it is right now, this was an EPS file that I imported in. So if I were to send this file over to the machine, it would see these circles as just circles, just that. So the cutter would actually go in a circular motion, and it would make the Braille hole too big. So what we need to do is we need to go into the properties of this tool and assign it a boring toolpath so that it will just go down and create the dot like we want it to for the Braille. So I've got tool 8 selected here in my tool list, so I can go to the properties feature, and up here at the top you'll see where it says plotting. Okay, that's what we want to change, because in this case we want to create a single plunge point, which we refer to as boring. So I'm going to select the boring option here, and I can go ahead and put in a depth feature here for this particular toolpath. Let's say 40 thousandths, which is typical for the Braille. And then I can actually select whichever Braille tool I happen to be using. So in this case I'll select the 36396 Braille cutter for, say, Gravostyle, our plastic material. So I'll check this, and now I can apply that and hit OK, and I've basically set up the parameters for that tool and the properties. So at this point we're pretty much ready to go. We've assigned the tool paths for the outer cut of the sign. You'll notice the raised text, or the tactile lettering, was already set to tool 0, which is black, and that's fine. We want to try to go in order of the whole process. So basically when we send the file over to the machine, it's going to go in numerical order as far as the tools are concerned. And you can see that better here when I go to the machining icon. It brings up the machining screen, and you'll see my tool list here. So we're going to go in order that you see it here. So it will start with anything that is tool 0, which is the raised letters in black. Then it will go to the Braille, which is the next step, and then finally the cutout for each sign. And obviously we can set speed settings, depth settings, dwell settings, if whatever the case may be, for each particular tool color here. So you'll see when I click on tool 8 that it automatically populated the depth setting that I set previously at 40 thousandths. So after you get each tool color assigned or set, as far as speed settings, depth, whatever, then we can basically hit run and send the file to the machine. I can also, on this screen, I can do a preview, which basically just gives me an over top view of the machine table, and I can right click to zoom in here, and we can actually verify that the Braille dots are just dots. There is no circle there, so that's what we want. And then on the tactile lettering, you can see the start point here, which is where the cutter will actually go down and start into the material and start that tool path. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Bringing in a EPS file with Braille already inserted, and being able to use Gravostyle to convert that Braille to actually plunge points. And hope this helps.